Who here has ever lost hope in their life? Who here has lost hope more than once in their life? Thank you for your honesty. Do you know the definition of hope? It's a feeling of an expectation and desire of a certain thing to happen. There was a point in my life where I had so much hope, and just like that, I lost the hope. For so long, all I wanted was to be a personal trainer, own a studio. That was my dream. That's what I wanted my life to be about, right? And I did it. For a year and a half, I was a trainer. I went to school. I got my certification, my diploma. I did everything I thought that I couldn't. And I had so much hope, so much drive. I met a multi-millionaire. You might have heard from my last speech there. We did a joint venture. He was my business partner. And we were able to build together. But as that year progressed, life happens, people change, you change, and things change. Your life changes, right? And I ended up having to break away from my business partner. I can tell countless stories of how that happened, but that was the result after a year and a half. But within that year and a half, I was able to make $5,000 a month. I had 15 clients a week. I was working 12-hour days, but it didn't even matter because I was living my dream. In my eyes and my mind, I made it. This is what I wanted. It's what I wrote down on a freaking piece of paper years ago that I wanted to make it happen. And I did that. And as it came crashing down, was seemed overnight, I woke up, again, after a year and a half, the next morning, full of anxiety. I was literally shaking. I was shaking because I was taking so much caffeine. To keep going, to keep functioning. I was driving an hour to the gym, an hour back. And I was exhausted. I was burnt out after that year and a half. And I woke up that morning just so confused. My mom, I'm a grown man. My mom was taking care of me in my bed. Because I was so destroyed. Bringing me tea, giving me Tylenol, you name it. You know what a mother does. And that for 3 weeks, from that day forward when I left, I couldn't get up. I was in my bed, I was on the couch, I was watching Netflix, eating Oreos, hot chips, hot Cheetos, you name it. I was trying to literally escape in any way that I could. Drinking, I didn't care. I legitimately didn't care. My body was in the worst physical shape it's ever been, and I couldn't get up. I lost all my hope. I was hopeless. And I know so many here can relate. I mean, so many raise their hands, right? I didn't know what to do with myself. I remember watching this scene from a movie, Creed. You might have heard it. It's a continuation of the Rocky movies. And this guy, Creed, Apollo Creed's son, he was on top of the world. He won the title. He had the championship. He was making money. He found the girl of his dreams. And just like that, as well, here comes a challenger, destroys him. He loses it all. He's right back to rock bottom. He's on a freaking wheelchair. And I could relate to that character so much at that point in my life. I was him in the wheelchair, literally. And I remember a specific scene where he's going through physical therapy to learn how to walk again. And he's in the water, he's in the pool, and he comes down to the pool underneath the lowest possible level. And he's just screaming with so much anger, so much pain. And at that, I remember tearing up in that moment. Because I knew exactly what that felt like. To have so much taken away, again, seamlessly, and to lose it. To lose yourself. To lose hope in yourself. I remember that scene, like, it's so vivid. It's so vivid in my life. And I know I'm not the only one, guys. I know there's so many that probably in their own way have been underneath that pool screaming, wishing somebody would help. And nobody came. Nobody comes, right? But you need to go through all that, my friends. You have to sometimes suffer, and it's called in the spiritual community an ego death, where you feel like you've died. But it's just a version of you that has died. Because you're being reborn. You're being upgraded. It's that next level of yourself. Because this current you can't take you to where you actually want to go. And this is what happens sometimes. But hope is not lost. It doesn't mean you're finished. It doesn't mean you can't start over. It's a new beginning. Towards a journey you always knew you could walk. Maybe fear, maybe trauma, whatever it is, kept you in your current place. It was safe, it was comfortable, right? But when you lose hope, this is when you find your true strength. This is when you realize who in the world you freaking are. Because you lose that fear. You're not afraid to walk through the freaking fire anymore because you've already done it so many times. And this is why I'm sharing this with you. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope in yourself, in your life, no matter what's going on. It's never lost. You look in the right places. Look at everything you've been through. You'll find your hope. It's Rogelio Diaz. Thank you for listening.